Have new Colourpop today, you guys. So excited to share with you today the new launches from Colourpop. I have their bronzers as well as the Gettin Fresh palette. We're going to try it out, see what we think, and start just like testing it out. So Colourpop did send this over to me, so as always, thank you to Colourpop for doing so. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope you will do so. I do lots of beauty reviews as well as hauls, tutorials, all those things over here, so make sure you do follow for that. So they did send over this little card right here that says Resting Beach Face. So I believe that's the name of the collection. So inside of here we do have new matte bronzers. It's been a minute since they've had bronzers out. I know it's like a collection of bronzers. So this is the packaging here. It's very large. So I'm assuming it's going to be like in those soul body containers, which aren't my favorite components that Colourpop has. But I mean, I feel like we're excited to see bronzers nevertheless. So yeah, it is going to be that big container here. I just feel like these are hard to open. Like, they're not my favorite packaging, and I do feel like they feel kind of cheap. So I wish they would have almost put them in something else, because I'm really excited to see them have bronzers, but this is just like not my favorite packaging. Got it open. So they do come in 6 different shades. I'm going to show you guys swatches and everything of each one of the bronzers so you guys can see, but I just want to show you the components. And then there's also a new eyeshadow palette, which I know a lot of you are excited about. I was reading some of the comments on Trend Mood, and it sounded like a lot of people were excited about this one here. This is the Gettin Fresh palette. I personally really enjoy these larger palettes from Colourpop. I think they do a great job with them, so I was excited to see them coming out with a new one, and I really liked the color story on this one. So it has greens. I know we love greens. It kind of matches my nails a little bit, but love greens, and this one was just fun. I thought it screamed very much summer, so I think it's a good time for this release. I can't wait to swatch everything and see what I think. And lastly, there are new glosses. These are the So Glossy glosses, so I'll be able to share those with you as well. There's 6 different colors. So the launch right now, it's going to launch Thursday. I'm assuming at 10 a.m. PST, like Colourpop always does. I do have a coupon code with Colourpop. It is an affiliate code. If you do use it, I thank you so much, but it is just Makeup Molly 5, and it will get you $5 off your $25 purchase, and it does work on most new releases, including this collection. So let's go ahead now and start swatching everything. So I think I'm just going to do live swatches since it is like a smaller collection. There's not too much to it. So I think we're just going to kind of swatch as we go. That way you guys can kind of truly see everything in action. So I'm going to start with the palette since I think that's what most people are going to be interested in, and we'll just start swatching. So I think I'll swatch in rows here, and then I will show you guys like as we go. So we're first going to go into the first shade. It almost looks like a green. Yes, it is like a light green shade. So I feel like with this palette, it kind of has a little bit of like fun pops, but it's also still very much like a neutral palette or like a warm tone palette. You just kind of have those fun colorful shades. That one's really nice, that green in here. And there are a good mix of shimmers as well as mattes. So I feel like you could create a very cohesive look. I'm gonna swatch the peachy shade. I always love that they include like these peachy mattes because they are my favorite to work with. So a couple of mattes there at the end. The one you're not gonna fully be able to see because it's pretty similar to my skin tone, but you can see there. So that's the full first row. Shimmers look really nice. So now we're gonna move into the second row and start swatching all of these. So in this row, you're starting with a matte. It'll be like your true brown matte. I feel like they have that in a lot of their palettes. And then we have another fun green. Now this one's going to be one of those like mattes that has a tiny bit of shimmer in it. So you can see there's like tiny particles of shimmer. Once it's on your eyes, you don't really see that a ton. It's kind of more just there for, you know, looks almost on the palette. That one there is a nice pink shade, kind of fun. It's like a peachy pink. Then we have like a rustic looking brown there next. And then a really nice like golden shade there. It's almost like a gold green. Do you see that shift? It has a little shift to it. And then the last shade is another matte, but it does have a little bit of the shimmer reflect in it as well. And there's that one there at the end, another like brown shade. Here again is your second row right there. Let me know if you guys prefer this style where I kind of like walk you through the swatches. If you do, I can definitely implement it more. I don't know what you guys prefer, but this green, oh my gosh, that is so cool. That one's like a true like lime neon green shade. I like that one. We might have to use that one on the lid there. I do feel like some of these browns are looking a little bit similar. I feel like that is kind of common for these palettes. Sometimes they do have shades that just look a little bit almost repetitive. This next one is the green like duochrome in the palette. Very cool. It has like a brown, almost like blue shift to it. Next we've got one of those like pukey brown shades I always say because they kind of give like that like mustardy brown. And then we have another green here last. This one looks so nice. It's like a forest green shade. Very cool. So there again is the third row right there. Okay, so next we're gonna work our way down here at the next row. So first up we've got a rich brown shade. Then we have a really nice looking gold. I'm excited to, oh yeah, this is like a copper gold. That swatched amazing. That one looks really, really good. We've got another deeper brown here as well. And then we kind of have like a fun like copper orange shade, almost like a peachy orange. It's a little bit pink as well. And next we've got another green, yes, so that one is cool as well. That kind of reminds me of the green like in the Tinkerbell palette. It's kind of like a yellow green. And then the last shade in there is more of like a rustic orangey brown. So there you have the 4th row of the palette. Okay, this next shade I'm very curious to swatch. Okay, so it's kind of like a duochrome, like blue, almost purple shifty shade. Next up we have another rich brown. I love these rich browns that Colourpop likes to do. And then we have another copper shade. This one's like a more of an orange copper there next. An even richer brown. This is almost like a brown black. And then we've got a copper brown shade there. And then the very last shade is more of like a burnt brown. So kind of like a brown red. So that right there is the very last row in the palette. I feel like everything swatched really well. Each of the shades had a lot of dimension to them. So I feel like we can create some really nice looks. I'm excited to dive into that on the eyes in a second. Next, let's go ahead and swatch the bronzers so you guys can see the undertones and everything of those. So we've got Myanmar Beach first up. I think this one is going to be the lightest bronzer. It feels pretty smooth. I'm excited to try out this formula. So there is that shade right there. Pretty light, definitely got a warm undertone to it. Next we have a cool tone bronzer. I know I'm going to use this probably for like contouring. This is the Avila Beach right here, and we'll go ahead and give that one a swatch. They feel, like I said, very smooth. So that one's kind of a little bit more cool tone, but definitely still pretty light. The next one we have here is Summerland Beach, and we'll go ahead and give that one a swatch. This one's a little bit more cool again, but this one is a little bit warmer than the other shade. I do feel like all of these so far I could wear. Now we're getting into the medium shades. This one actually came a little bit broken here, so I'm gonna kind of just work around the brokenness. This one is Silver Strand Beach. Go ahead and swatch that. I almost dropped it again, but swatch it there, right there in the end. So that one's very like a red warm, and that one's gonna be more of your warmer tones. Then we've got 2 more deeper options. So this one is Pacific Beach, and I'll go ahead and swatch that right there. So definitely goes quite a bit deeper there with those 2. And then the last one here, this is Moonlight Beach. And this is going to be the deepest bronzer in the collection. So there is the full range. Honestly, I feel like I could probably get away with wearing like all of these, and I'm pretty medium, so I don't feel like it's the most inclusive shade range when it comes to bronzers, just because I feel like I could wear all but 2 of them. So we'll see. We'll see once they're on the face. But I'm gonna go ahead now and show you guys the lip product. For the glosses, I decided just to swatch them all since I figured it'd be kind of boring to watch me swatch lip glosses. But you can see there's a nice tones of these. They have like a really nude ones up to deeper nudes as well. So I think this is a nice little collection of glosses. I can't wait to try out this formula. I've actually never tried this formula, so I'm excited to try that. But let's go ahead and start now with the eyes and the eyeshadow palette. Okay, so we are all zoomed up. We're gonna start with the eyeshadow palette, and I think I'm definitely gonna lean more towards using the greens, but I kind of want to play with this color too because I think that one's kind of fun. So I'm actually gonna start with the greens. I know like normally I lay like matte and then I go by like build my base and all that, but I think I'm just gonna start straight in with the greens. I'm gonna go into the shade called Genuine, and I'm just gonna use that on my lid to kind of just start me out. It's a shimmer, which I don't typically do either, but I kind of want to try something different, and I also want to utilize just as many shades as I can so you guys can kind of see them on the eyes. That one is super cool. It has like an earthly look to it. Okay, so we've got the green. So next I'm going to go into the shade No Doubt here, and I'm going to add that also to this shimmer and kind of just like blend that almost. Again, it's another shimmer, so you know, it's probably not going to be the best at like blending, but I feel like it'll be kind of cool to do like an all shimmer look for once. Okay, now I'm going to go into this green. I feel like we had to use that green and plop that on the lid. I'm kind of going to just put it like right here on the inner corner portion, right in here. That is really cool. I just feel like this is so weird seeing me with like no mattes, but I feel like it's gonna end up cool, looking cool, hopefully. Now I'm gonna go into this one here at the top. This one is called On the Outs, and I'm gonna use that one actually just with my finger. This looks really cool, and I'm gonna add it just to the middle, right in here. We've definitely got a lot of green going on, but I don't mind it. I feel like it's kind of fun. And then now let's go ahead and pick up that like tealy blue, because that one had like a really cool look to it. It's almost like a purple blue. Kind of reminds me of an Urban Decay shadow. I feel like I tried a long time ago. I'm gonna kind of just put this in the outer portion of the eye here. Do you guys ever work with all shimmers, or do you always use a matte? Because I feel like I definitely always use a matte, so this looks different for me. It doesn't look bad though. It looks kind of fun. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that middle shade over here because I feel like I lost a little bit of it. I am, however, gonna go into just a little bit of this matte here, I think on the outer corner, just to deepen it a smidge. I just feel like it needs just a little bit more depth, and I don't think I can get that with the other shimmers in the palette. So I'm just gonna ever so slightly add this right in over top. And since we're going over top of the shimmers we already applied, I feel like it's gonna almost just like kind of have those shimmers still peek through a little bit instead of looking super matte. Okay, yeah, that's really fun. All right, and then for lower lash line, I think I'm honestly just gonna keep it kind of simple because I feel like we have a lot of shimmer going on. So I think I'm just gonna go into a few of the matte browns. I'll probably just work from like lightest to deepest and just start applying different mattes to just give this a little bit of a smokier look here on the lower lash line. Okay, I'm gonna blend that out just a smidge. All right, and then I'm gonna also just clean up this fallout, and then I'm gonna add some mascara and then move back to try out the bronzers. Okay, so here's after mascara. Still really liking the way it looks, kind of fun. Now we're gonna go into the bronzers. So I'm gonna use a Vila Beach first, and I'm gonna almost use this one I think more as like a contour shade because it does look like it's gonna be pretty light. So I'm kind of just gonna focus that right in the hollows almost as like a little bit of shadowing before we go in with all the bronzer shades. So I'm just gonna work that just right up in here. Give us a little bit of scenting. I'll add a little here to my nose as well. It's an okay color. I think this would honestly work too as a bronzer on me if I wanted to go a little bit more heavy-handed with it. I'm gonna kind of just leave it messy. And now we're gonna go into the next like warmest shade to kind of bronze with that one. For that, I'm gonna go into Miramar Beach, and we'll just start to bronze up with this one. This one's very peachy. Like that's like apricot peach kind of. But I don't mind a bronzer in that shade because I do feel like it does look pretty sun-kissed on me normally. I have quite a few bronzers that have that like warm peachy look to them. I do feel like they end up looking a little bit more natural sometimes than the more like red based bronzer. I'm gonna add a little bit here to my forehead. Formula on this feels really nice. I know it's been a while. I think they have bronzers, but it's been a while since I've seen one like in a collection, I think. But the formula feels pretty smooth. It seems like it's going on really nicely. I don't notice any like patchiness or anything like that. So blending pretty smooth. It looks good so far. I'm kind of just adding it wherever just so I can kind of try it out, but I think that looks pretty good, and it, like I said, blended really nicely. So those two colors I think mixed together are perfect on me. So if you like a good like peachy one, I think this would work nice if you have like a fair to medium skin tone like me. Okay, and then for lip, I'm actually gonna line first. This is the Colourpop lip liner in Brink. So I'm just gonna line my lips with this. Okay, and then the gloss that I'm going to pick is this one here. This one is in Newport. We're going to add that on. So like I said, I haven't tried this formula yet, so I'm curious to see. That I like that it's not as like goopy so far as the other formulas. They have their regular gloss formula, and I feel like that one is just so sticky. It kind of feels like a good marriage between like their lip oils and then also the glosses. Like it's not overly sticky. Pigmentation looks pretty good. Okay, it looks pretty shiny on the lips. I like the way it feels. Like I said, it's not like overly glossy. It doesn't feel like it's going to be like on my teeth or like slippery. It just feels like it looks really just like juicy and nice. Okay, so first let's talk about the Gettin Fresh palette. I think this is really cute. I really like this eye look that I came up with. I love greens. I think they're so fun, and I think they're flattering on a lot of different eyes, so I think a lot of people are really gonna like this one. I do think it's fun for summer. I like that we have the greens, but it's not overly green. Like, you have some fun pops in there. You even have that pink if you want to do that. I like that they kind of chose more almost like jewel tone shades, but not overly jewel. I think it's really nice. I think it's a good color story, and I think a lot of people are really gonna like this one. Formula seems true to Colourpop, so if this is a, you know, palette that interests you, I think you are getting good quality with this one. I really like these larger palettes. I feel like they're not too large. They're the perfect size to where you have enough shades, but you have, you know, it's not too big, it's not too bulky. I think this is a perfect size larger palette. And the bronzers, I feel like they look really nice. I feel like they look nice in bronze. Like I said, blending was really easy with these. I didn't notice any patchiness or anything like that, so they felt pretty smooth. Con with these is the packaging. I wish they just hadn't put them in these packaging, because I'm sure this is probably going to be like a permanent item since they don't really have any other bronzers. But I kind of wish they would have just like maybe come out with a new component, because these ones are just so hard to open and they just feel kind of cheap, and they do break easily too, as you could tell with that other bronzer that I had broken. So just a packaging con with this one, but the actual formula feels really nice, and I do think it looks really nice on the skin. And then we had the lip colors. Like I said, this is my first time trying this formula, but so far I like it. It feels, like I said, pretty smooth on the lips. I like it, I think, more for sure than their other glosses, because I feel like those are just a little too goopy for me. And then I like it. It's kind of, like I said, a marriage between their lip oils and then also just like a regular gloss, but I like it. I like this color a lot. I like that they have the different variations of browns. I thought it matched the theme really well. But after that, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know if you guys are planning on picking up this collection. Again, that code is just MakeItMolly5 if you want to use it at checkout. Also, let me know what you guys thought about the live swatches. Do you prefer that, or do you want just like the quick swipe on the hand? Let me know down in the comment section, and I will see you all very soon with a brand new video.